A Streetcar Named Desire is a unique play in the sense that it depicts the World War II era in its own fashion. The scene that we decided to do was the first scene in which we meet all the different characters for the first time, Stella, Stanley, and Blanche. And in it we get to see how the different characters interact with each other. Like in the beginning, how Stella is kind to both Blanche and Stanley, but Stanley and Blanche, when alone, they start to fight over everything. The primary theme that we saw was a warped reality, in which all three of the main characters have their own little sense of what the world actually is. Blanche is so vain that she thinks she can convince people to do what she wants whenever she wants them to. Stanley, in his own way, has such of an ego that he forces himself on everybody. And Stella is kind of off to the side. She follows Stanley and Blanche everywhere, and she doesn't really have a life of her own. There were a lot of symbols in this first scene, starting with the meet, where we could see Stanley being the source of the relationship and always providing for himself and for Stella. We also saw the alcohol and the lights, which were both a way for Blanche to avoid the truth and see through her lies. The alcohol, we saw a warped sense of reality, because the alcohol can mess with the mind and do all these different things to all these different people, and you never know what's going to happen when you're under alcohol. With the light, Blanche covers the light for her own sense of vanity, because she doesn't want to see herself for who she truly is. She wants to see herself under her own shroud. And the last thing we saw in the first scene was, it kind of foreshadows the conflict, the different conflicts, because at the very end you see Blanche's long speech in which she shows her sadness and a little bit of insanity towards the death of her husband. So now, on with the show.
Hey, Stella! Hey, baby!
Don't holler at me like that. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, catch this.
What?
Meet.
Where are you going?
We're going bowling.
Can I come?
Come on.
They told me to take a streetcar named Desire and then transfer to one called Cemeteries and then ride 6 blocks and get off at a place called Elysian Fields.
That's where you are now.
Oh, that's Elysian Fields?
Yep.
Okay. They must have not understood what number I was looking for.
What number are you looking for?
632?
You don't have to look any further.
Okay, I'm looking for my sister, Stella Dubois. I mean, Mrs. Stanley Kowalski.
Oh, that's the party. They just left.
Oh, well, this can't be their home.
They got the downstairs and I got the up.
Oh, so she's out?
Did you notice the bowling alley around the corner?
I'm sure I did.
Well, that's where she's at, watching her husband bowl. You want to leave your suitcase here and go find her?
No.
She wasn't expecting you.
No, not tonight.
Well, why don't you just go in and make yourself at home till they get back?
How could I can do that?
Yeah, I can let you in. I own the place. Okay. It's sort of messed up right now, but when it's clean, it's real nice.
Is it?
Uh-huh. I think so. So you're Stella's sister?
Yes, thanks for letting me in.
Por nada, as the Mexicans say, por nada. Stella spoke of you.
Yes?
I think she said you taught school.
Yes.
She showed me a picture of your home place. The plantation?
Bellreve?
A great big place with white columns.
Yes.
A place like that must be awful hard to keep up.
If you will excuse me, I'm just about to drop.
Sure, honey, why don't you sit down?
What I meant to say was, I'd like to be left alone.
Aw, I'll make myself scarce in that case.
I didn't mean to be rude, but,
I'll drop by the bowling alley and hustle her up for you.
thank you.
Okay.
I've got to keep a hold of myself.
Blanche?
Stella, oh Stella, Stella for star. Now then, let me look at you, but don't look at me, Stella. No, not till I've bathed and rested. And turn that light off, turn it off. I won't be looked at in this merciless glare. Come back here now, oh my baby, Stella, Stella, Stella for star. I thought you would never come back to this horrible place. I didn't mean to say that, no. What I meant to say was, oh, what a convenient location and such a precious lamb. You haven't said a word to me.
You haven't given me a chance to, honey.
Well, now you talk. Open your pretty mouth and talk while I look around for some liquor. I know you must have some liquor somewhere. Where could it be, I wonder? I spy, here it is.
Blanche, you sit down and let me pour the drinks. I don't know what we've got to mix. Maybe a Coke's in the icebox.
No Coke, honey. Not with my nerves tonight. Where is,
Oh, Stanley? He's bowling. He loves that. And I found Coke. He's at a tournament.
just water, baby, to taste it. Now, don't get worried. Your sister hasn't turned into a drunkard. She's just all shaken up and hot and tired and dirty. You sit down now and explain this place to me. What are you doing in a place like this?
Now, Blanche.
I'm not going to be hypocritical. I'm going to be honestly critical about it. Never, never, never in my worst dreams could I picture only Poe, only Mr. Edgar Poe, could do it justice. Out there, I suppose, is the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir.
No, honey, those are the L&N tracks.
Oh, now seriously, putting all jokes aside, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you write, honey? Why didn't you let me know?
Tell you what, Blanche?
Why have you had to live in these conditions?
Aren't you being a little intense? It's not that bad here. New Orleans isn't like other cities.
This has nothing to do with New Orleans. You might as well say, forgive me, blessed baby. The subject is closed.
Thanks.
You're all I've got in this world, and you're not glad to see me?
You know that's not true, Blanche.
No, I've forgotten how quiet you were.
You never did give me a chance to say much, Blanche, so I got used to being quiet around you.
A good habit to get into. You haven't asked me how I happened to get away from the school before the spring term ended.
Well, I thought you'd volunteer the information if you wanted to tell me.
Thought I'd been fired?
No, I thought you resigned.
I was exhausted by all I'd been through. My nerves broke. I was on the verge of lunacy almost. So Mr. Graves is the superintendent of the school. He suggested I take a leave of absence. I couldn't fit all those details into the wire. Oh, this buzzes right through me. It feels so good.
Won't you have another?
No. One's my limit. You haven't said a word about my appearance.
You look just fine.
God love you for a liar. Daylight never exposed such a total ruin. But you put on some weight. You're plump as a little partridge. And it's so becoming to you.
Now, Blanche.
Yes, it is. It is, or I wouldn't say it. You just have to watch around the hips a little. Stand up.
Not now.
Stand, you hear me. I said stand up. You messy child, you spilled something on that pretty white collar. About your hair, you ought to have it cut, or a feather bob with dainty features. Stella, you have a maid, don't you?
No, with only 2 rooms, it is.
What? 2 rooms?
Yeah, this one and
The other one. I'm going to take just one tiny nip more, sort of to put a stopper on it, so to speak. Here you go. Then put the bottle away so I won't be tempted. I want you to take a look at my figure. See? You notice I haven't put on 1 ounce in 10 years, Stella. I weighed what I weighed the summer you left Belle Reeve.
It's incredible how well you're looking, Blanche.
You know, the summer Dad died. But Stella, there's 2 rooms. Where are you going to put me up?
We'll put you here.
What kind of bed is this? Is this one of those collapsible things?
Does it feel all right?
Wonderful, honey. I don't like the bed that gives too much, but there's no doubt between the 2 rooms. And Stanley, will it be decent?
Oh, Stanley's Polish, you know.
Oh, yes. They're sort of like the Irish, right?
Well,
Only not so highbrow. I brought some nice clothes to meet your friends in.
I'm afraid you won't think they're lovely.
What are they like?
They're Stanley's friends.
Polacks?
They're a mixed lot, Blanche.
Heterogeneous types.
Oh yes, types is right.
Well, anyhow, I brought nice clothes and I'll wear them. I guess you're hoping I'll say I'll put up in a hotel, but I'm not going to put up at a hotel. I want to be near you. I've got to be with someone. I can't be alone. Because, as you must have noticed, I'm not very well.
You seem a little bit nervous or overwrought or something.
Will Stanley like me, or will it just be a visiting in-laws thing?
You'll get along just fine if you try not to compare him to the guys we went out with at home.
Is he so different?
Oh, you can't describe someone you're in love with. Here's a picture of him.
An officer?
Master Sergeant in the Engineer Corps. Those are his decorations.
He had those when you met him?
I assure you, I wasn't just blinded by the brass.
That's not what I...
But of course, there were things to adjust to myself later on.
Such as his civilian background? How did he take it when you said I was coming?
Oh, Stanley doesn't know yet.
You haven't told him.
He's on the road a good deal.
Kitroro? Travel?
Yes.
Good, I mean, isn't it?
I can hardly stand it when he's away for a night.
Why, Stella?
And when he's gone for a week, I go wild.
Gracious.
And when he comes back, I cry in his lap like a baby.
I guess that is what is meant by being in love. Stella,
What?
I haven't asked you the things you probably thought I was going to ask you, and I'll expect you to understand about what I have to tell you.
What, Blanche?
Why, Stella, you're going to reproach me. I know that you're bound to reproach me, but before you do, take into consideration, you left. I stayed and struggled. You came to New Orleans, and I looked out for you. I stayed at Belle Reeve and tried to hold it together. I'm not meaning this in any reproachful way, but all the burden descended on my shoulders.
The best thing I could do was to make my living, Blanche.
I know. But you are the one that abandoned Belle Reeve. I know, not I. I stayed and fought for it, bled for it, almost died for it.
Stop those hysterical outbursts, Blanche, and just tell me what happened. What do you mean fought and bled? What is...
I knew you would, Stella. I knew you would take this attitude about it.
About what? Please.
The loss. The loss.
Belle Rev is lost? No.
Yes, Stella.
But how'd it go? What happened?
You're a fine one to ask me how it went.
Blanche.
You're a fine one to sit there and accuse me of it.
Blanche.
I took the blows in my face and my body. All those deaths, the long parades to the graveyard, Father, Mother, Margaret, that dreadful way, so big with it, it couldn't be put in a coffin, but it had to be burned like rubbish. You just came home in time for the funeral, Stella, and funerals can be pretty compared to death. Their breathing is hoarse and sometimes it rattles. Sometimes they even cry out to you, "Don't let me go!" Even the old sometimes say, "Don't let me go," as if you were able to stop them. But funerals are quiet, with pretty flowers, and what gorgeous boxes they pack away in. Unless you were there at the bed when they cry out, "Hold me," you'd never expect there was the struggle for breath and bleeding. You didn't dream it, but I saw. And now you sit there telling me with your eyes that I let the place go? How in the hell do you think that all sickness and dying was paid for for death is expensive. And old cousin Jesse's right after Margaret's. Why, the Grim Reaper put his tent up on our doorstep, like Belle Reeve was his headquarters. Honey, that is how it slipped through my fingers. Which one of them left us a fortune? Which one of them left a cent of insurance even? Only poor dressed Jessie. $100 to pay for her coffin. That was all, Stella. And I, with my pitiful salary at the school? Yes, accuse me. Sit there and stare at me thinking I let the place go. I let the place go? Where were you? In bed with your Pollock.
You be still, Blanche. That's enough.
Where are you going?
To the bathroom.
Oh, Stella, Stella, you're crying.
Does that surprise you?
Forgive me, I didn't mean to.
Oh, is that how we got it?
Sure, that's how I got it. You bet $300 on a 6-number ticket.
Don't tell him those things. He'll believe it.
Hey, Mitch, come back here.
Are we playing poker tomorrow?
Sure, at Mitch's house.
No, not at my place. My mother's still sick.
Okay, at my place, but you bring the beer.
Okay. Good night, all.
Yeah, you look around. And then Robbi went.
You must be Stanley. I'm Blanche.
Stella's sister?
Yes,
Hello. Where's the little woman?
in the bathroom.
Oh, didn't know you were coming into town.
Where
Where are you from, Blanche?
why, I live in Laurel.
Oh, Laurel, huh? Oh, yeah, in Laurel, that's right. Not in my territory. Liquor goes faster in hot weather. Have a shot?
No, I, rarely touch it.
Some people rarely touch it, but it often touches them. My clothes are sticking to me. If you don't mind, can I make myself comfortable?
Please do.
Mike, be comfortable is my motto.
Mine too. It's hard to stay looking fresh. I haven't washed or even powdered my face, and here you are.
You know you can catch cold sitting around here and damp things, especially where you've been exercising hard like bowling is. You're a teacher, aren't you?
Yes,
What do you teach, Blanche?
English.
I was a very good English student. How long are you here for, Blanche?
I, don't know yet.
You gonna shack up here?
I thought I would if it's not inconvenient for you all.
Good.
Traveling wears me out.
We'll take it easy.
What's that?
Cats. Hey, Stella,
Yes, Stanley?
haven't fallen in, have you? I'm afraid I'll strike you as being the unrefined type. Stella has spoke a good deal of you. You were married once, weren't you?
Yes, when I was, very young.
Oh, what happened?
The boy died. I'm afraid I'm going to be sick.